Smurfs takes a page from Peabody and Sherman and the Peanuts to make an animated reboot. Smurfs The Lost Village, directed by Kelly Asbury, starring the voices of Mandy Paquin, Demi Lovato, Rainn Wilson, Danny Pudi, Jack McBrayer, and Joe Manganiello. This movie is a completely animated reboot of the Smurfs franchise. They're taking a page from Peabody and Sherman and the Peanuts. Let's do it completely animated like those two movies did, and let's see how that turns out. And I have to say, this movie is much better than the previous two movies. The plot of this movie is all the Smurfs have their own place. Clumsy, voiced by Jack McBrayer, is Clumsy. Hefty, who's voiced by Joe Manganiello, because we need a strong guy to voice Hefty. And then you have Danny Pudi voicing Brainy. He is very smart. Mandy Paquin, who played Indigo Montoya in The Princess Bride, he voices Papa Smurf, but Demi Lovato voicing Smurfette. Her character doesn't know where she fits among the rest of the Smurfs. She doesn't know who she is among the rest of the Smurfs, so she's trying to find her place among them. So Hefty, Smurfette, Clumsy, and Brainy decide to venture out beyond the boundaries of Smurf Village. But right before they get to the wall that leads to the Forbidden Forest, they're having some fun. Smurfette notices an extra Smurf among them that she has never seen before, and this Smurf disappears to the Forbidden Forest beyond the wall, and she realizes that's where these Smurfs come from. Gargamel finds out about these unknown Smurfs, and so he wants to go into the Forbidden Forest to find out where they are. And Smurfette realizes that Gargamel knows about these unknown Smurfs, so now she has to go to this unknown Smurf village to warn them. Clumsy, Brainy, and Hefty volunteer to go along with her, despite the fact that Papa Smurf has told them not to go to the Forbidden Forest. But they go anyway, and they go off on their adventure. Hilarious antics ensue. And this is a much better movie than the previous two films. Now, I did not see the first two movies until later on when they came out on video, and I rented them, and I have to say that those two movies were terrible films. Having Neil Patrick Harris in those movies just didn't feel right. That taking the Smurfs out of the animated world and bringing them into our world, that is just a stupid idea. It is totally the wrong direction for the Smurfs. Let's keep them in their animated world, and doing that was just a much better approach. The voices of these characters are awesome. Mandy Paquin does a great job as Papa Smurf. Demi Lovato is great as Smurfette. Jack McBrayer is great as Clumsy. Danny Pudi as Brainy is awesome, and then you have Joe Manganiello as Hefty. He's perfect for that. Talk about typecasting there. And Rainn Wilson as Gargamel, I thought he did a very good job as the character. He kind of felt like Gargamel from the cartoon. Frank Welker is awesome as Azrael. He does a really good job as the cat. And D. Bradley Baker as Monte. I really did like him in the role as well. And then you have these voice actors for the new Smurfs. They were all great in the movie as well. I don't want to spoil who these voice actors are for the new Smurfs, but they were all great in the movie. I have to say, this was just really refreshing. Now, is this movie for adults as well as for kids? No, this movie is strictly for kids, really. There really isn't much there for adults as far as humor, which is a little bit disappointing, but at the same time, I don't expect Smurfs to be a movie that's for all ages, really, because that's not what the cartoon was. The cartoon was a cartoon mostly for kids. So the idea of the movie trying to be for both kids and for adults is really not a problem to me, that you have a Smurfs movie strictly for kids. That's what the cartoon was. The cartoon was strictly for kids. So complaining about that is very weird. It's like complaining about the Power Rangers being cheesy. It's supposed to be cheesy. Well, the Smurfs is supposed to be completely for kids. That's the way it was with the cartoon. That's the way it is with this movie. The voice actors all do a great job. The story is very good. The flaws, though, with this movie is that there were points in the movie where the Smurf characters were a bit too loud with the screaming that they do in some scenes. But overall, I do think this is a really good movie. I definitely think that if you take your kids to see it, they will love it. So I'm going to give this movie a B. It is worth checking out. And that's all I got to say for Smurfs The Lost Village.